Okay, here. Start that up.
Thank you, Glenn. Let's get to work and see if we can do as well as the Patriots did today.
Hey, well, we can start with quorum, which we definitely have. So that's a good start.
Good. All right, thank you. Any last minute changes or drastic things that have happened that we need to change the agenda for? All right. I've got the next meeting as Sunday, November 21st, which we had on the calendar for quite a while. So I don't see anything with that. Let's go with approval of the minutes from the House of Delegates meeting.
Mike, we don't approve them.
Well, I'm
They have-
sorry,
And next,
receiving the minutes.
Okay.
of- yeah.
Okay.
Anyone have any comment on the House of Delegates meetings that minutes that Glenn sent out?
Good
I
job.
thought that we would, I thought the House of Delegates really approved
Yeah,
those
yeah.
minutes,
They
not
do.
the Board of Directors.
so
That's right.
we could approve the last Board of Directors meeting, which was I think the August ones. Right, August. Yeah, that would make sense. And they're up there and around. I guess. Did I attach them to the? Sorry if I didn't attach them to the thing. Oh, no, I have them. They're on there. They're on the invite. So any issues about the August minutes? Hopefully not, because you would have brought them up before the September HOD meeting.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody make any comments to me.
Okay. So
Okay.
Hearing none, those are approved.
All righty. All right, zipping along. As you know, Brandon is no longer going to be with us, and Amanda is on the line tonight. Amanda, I thought I sent or Glenn sent the invitation to Carol Lee also. Glenn, did you do that or?
Yep, I sent.
Okay.
I think you sent it to her, but I also included her on the invite. So
Okay.
she should have gotten it from both of us. Is what I
Okay.
expected.
For those of you that, just to refresh your memory, we voted Amanda in starting in January. And Carol Lee is going to join us for as many meetings as possible because she's going to work closely with Amanda, particularly as far as how many College Northeast is concerned. Amanda is the person in the position, and Alan, maybe you can help me here. If we want her to take over at this point,
A vote of the board.
yeah, but there's not a whole lot of difference from other than attending the meetings and so forth. So I'd like to. I guess I can appoint that, or does it have to be a motion?
The vote of the board.
Okay, then I'll look for a motion.
Moved.
Alan
Second.
moved.
Alan?
David Patterson, I saw a thumb up
Yep,
for a
second.
second.
Oh, I heard Diane first, so she's already.
Okay.
on.
Okay,
Sorry, David. You have to yell out quicker.
he's stuck in the Aurora Borealis.
This is
any,
actually Diane's account, but that's okay.
Any discussion on the vote, on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? I
Think it's
see the
not
motion carries. Welcome, Amanda.
It's official.
Thank you
Amanda,
all.
just since you're new and there is a procedure for people that are new.
Mm.
I was
Hazing?
not buying it. No, but you might tell everybody that, is there a way for people to watch you on television when you're on? Is that streamable in their areas?
Yeah, I don't know where you all live, but I'm on the CBS station in Providence, and you can watch online. It streams online. WPRI.com. Is that what you meant?
Yep, yep. It's
Sorry,
very
they're
cool.
watching Hocus Pocus in the other room. Might be a little loud.
What's the name of the program?
She's a reporter.
Yeah, so I'm a local news reporter for CBS in Providence. So it's WPRI Channel 12.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to tune in, I'm on the 11 o'clock news.
Tonight?
Not tonight.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, all right. All right. Thank you, Amanda. And thanks to Carol Lee if she should join us in a little while. Glenn, over to you.
Yep. So nothing really to report on the secretary's side. One more show clearance, but which was, well, yep, for September. So that's other than that, it's been pretty quiet.
What chapter was that? You know, oh, no.
Yeah, I don't have it on my thing, but it was a quick turnaround. It was like September 1st they sent it, and September 25th was the show. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
People are planning kind of last minute. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Glenn? Hi, Steve.
And Amanda, I've already set you up in Member Center, so you can poke around. You should see all the chapters and all that stuff.
Awesome. Poke I shall. Thank you.
Welcome, Steve. Over to John.
Yeah, I did not send anything out tonight. Don't really have a whole lot. All of the activity that's occurred since the last report I gave has been primarily the district convention. And at this point, we have a fair amount of revenue and the expenses haven't come in yet, so it becomes a little misleading. But the other thing I will note is we did get a check from Harmony Foundation for $6,700 that got booked in October, actually. And so year to date at this point, we're about $23,000 in the black. The expenses for the district convention are about 20,000, and I suspect we'll come in under that. So we're looking pretty good for the end of the year, unless there's some surprises that I'm not aware.
Was that 6,700 expected? I didn't think the number was going to be that large.
No, it was much larger than I expected, and I haven't. I don't get the detail of. Okay, but I suspect somebody must have given a fairly significant gift.
Sean will be here this weekend, so maybe between you and I, we can corner him and see what that's about. That's great.
Yeah, we typically have been getting about 2,000 to 4,000 from Harmony Foundation per year. So obviously 6,000 far exceeds that, and we had already gotten a $2,000 check earlier in the year. I also know they had gotten a little bit behind, so this may be an accumulation of more than the standard period, but it still is much larger than I expected.
John, just a question. The money that you said that we got from Harmony Foundation International, is that the dedicated amounts from individual donors?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for John? All right, let's move along. I take it there would be no need to change any budgetary items at this point, John?
At this point, the budget's pretty much fixed. The actuals will differ from it as they always do, but at this point in time, unless there's something completely new or something that is a major differential from what we've had, I would just say we'll leave the budget the same for the year, and then we'll see how we perform against it.
When would we like next year's budget submitted to you? If people have requests.
Ideally, we would have a budget at the December board meeting to approve, which means we would need to have individual budget area owners submit those budgets probably beginning in November so that they can be reviewed and any changes in discussion around them occur before the December meeting. So basically very soon.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
That's next week, yeah.
Amanda, is your budget in yet?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Amanda and anybody else, I have a lot of history for the various areas and would be glad to work with anybody who needs help putting a budget together. Obviously, we shouldn't be held to those because we may want to do some things differently than we've done in the past, but it's a good starting point. And so if anybody would like to have some historical data, please let me know.
Okay, let's get to the main subject for tonight. Next week's convention. We'll start with any logistical things from Mr. Bradley.
We're all set to go. I have a couple of just requests of people. Are we aware we have no host chapter? And if somebody knows somebody with a good back or a couple of people with a good back who would like to visit me at noon at Worcester State, that would be more than welcome because we have to get the risers up. I have a few people I've asked and I've kind of shanghaied to come up and help, but certainly the more the merrier on getting these things up in the shell.
Time do you need people for that, Bob?
Yeah,
What time?
noon on Friday.
Friday.
And also, I think that we can run the contest with the events team, but it would be nice if we could get a couple of volunteers at each contest. I know Dan Falcone had volunteered to help me out on Friday. I don't know if he can still make it, but I need a couple of vertical, just a couple of bodies to close the doors of the auditorium. Basically, that's it. Everything else we can handle. I have somebody working the front of house who will help with that. But if somebody has somebody who would like to volunteer and just stand by, and when they say close the doors, close them, that would be wonderful. Besides that, we're basically set to go. I got a whole bunch of COVID things from the school. I made up a poster that we're going to put outside according to their regulations. I have tickets. I have meal tickets in case people have not ordered. I have meal tickets in 3 different bright colors. If you'd like to eat Friday dinner, Saturday lunch, and Saturday dinner, I have tickets for those that we would either love to sell or give out. We will have them at the contests. Besides that, as far as all the other logistics, I think we're in very good shape. I just have one question. I just have one question of Glenn.
Yeah.
While you're here, earlier I had a room for you at the Hilton.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, are you still taking that? It's for Friday and
Yes.
Saturday nights.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, good. All right. I sent out an email to the board members and I didn't get an answer back, and I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
All right. Besides that, we're at the Hilton Garden and we're all set with the rooms for everybody. And it looks like it'll be a good contest, and it'll be great to get back together again. And I expect for the first mic tester that comes across the stage on Friday night, we all stand up with a standing ovation, because it'll just be great to see anyone come live across the stage at this point.
Well, Mike Savard would like it if you save the standing ovation for the first competitor.
That would be, however you want to do it.
Because that'll be his quartet.
I would think even the first presenter who comes out, we should give a standing ovation for.
Yay!
It's just be absolutely great to see people again. We have the presenters. We have David Patterson for Friday night. We have Mike Mano for Saturday finals. And we have Dusty Schleier for the chorus contest on Saturday. So I think it's a great lineup of presenters, and it should be a great convention. I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of people
Fun.
are,
Thank you, Bob. Mark, to answer your questions that went through the chat, Bob doesn't have anything to do with the NEDAC show. So we'll get to that subject. I don't want to think that we were ignoring you. We will get there in a few minutes.
Thank you. I think you should ignore me, but go on.
Okay. All right. Speaking of rooms, this being a very, very unusual situation, we have no chorus hospitality rooms. Is that correct? Officially?
Yes, the hotels, because of some of the COVID problems, were not really enthralled with having singers sing into the evening hours. We have your suite, which I suppose that we can all cram into if we try to.
Thanks, Bob.
And I'm sure some of the members of the choruses have contacted me about doing something in their rooms, which they would announce individually. But as far as the hotels, we had run into the COVID problems of having a lot of people together singing. It wasn't an idea that appealed to them at all.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that and make sure that was on the recording.
Yes.
As far as my suite is concerned, I would presume, Alan, we would save that for just board members and the judges.
The judges have their own room.
Okay. So the judges have a room to meet in, or just
Yes,
a
a
hotel
room a room to meet in, and it'll be supplied with hospitality stuff.
It will be. Okay. So I'm not going to see any of them in my room.
Well, depends on how much they like you and whether they want to come find you.
As he said.
If nobody shows up, Mike, maybe you want to, do a background check.
Yeah. Okay.
I know in the past, Mike, what we've done is when I've gotten the suites for the presidents, they've invited people and the quartets to stop by. It's been done by invitation.
Yeah, but I was wondering if we should in fact do that this year, or just, I'm looking for opinions from Ed, particularly what, might be done during COVID, or what he did, and what might be appropriate for gathering this time, because it is different.
Yeah, there was a thing that came on the chat room from Dan Falcone, and there are places outside of the Hilton to sing. We're right on the main street of town, and there are places if you'd like to get a group of people outside, particularly behind the hotel, because it backs up to the local jail and courthouse. And I'm sure that some of the inmates would absolutely love to hear it.
Yeah.
and join in.
Yeah, Rule
Join
6
in.
though.
Yes, definitely.
Ed, did you have something to advise me?
Not really. My room was always available. I used to post a little bit of the get together afterwards, but under these conditions, I'm not. I didn't have a convention or anything during COVID. We didn't have any, so it's been a long time.
Well, what's the consensus? Should I open up the suite, or Dan is putting his thumb down?
I think getting people to sing outside is probably going to be smartest. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
unless it's snowing or hurricane or something. Yeah.
Could be, it's Worcester. Well, I will make it, I will make myself and the room available for any board members that just want a place to come and chat. Can certainly do that, but ask the singing to be done outside. Does that sound like a good compromise? I see a lot of nodding going on.
Yeah.
And I think, Mike, from the judge's point of view, they're not going to get back from the university until either night until about 12:15. So
I'll be
I
in bed
think-
by then.
yeah, they're just going to want to crash. So
Okay, so I will have, on Saturday night only, I'll have my room available to board members and any VIPs like Dusty, invite him there, and any of the judges that want to stop in and say hello after they're done. But it'll be strictly from a, let's say hi kind of thing, and ask the singing to be kept outside, right? Right. Okay. Let's move to registrations, John.
Okay, as of about an hour ago, we had 263 registered contestants. We had 62 all events registrations and 27 individual event registrations. And we have 71 for dinner and 70 for lunch. And then a variety of miscellaneous stuff. But so we've basically taken in somewhere in the neighborhood of just short of $16,000 on the income side, which is fairly consistent with a spring convention typically. District conventions typically bring in more like 25 or 26, but obviously this is not a normal year. And so I think this is about what we anticipated.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm thrilled with those numbers, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a good size, particularly for the size of the auditorium. It'll allow people to spread out if they so desire, that kind of thing.
And we
Okay,
do typically get some at the door registration, so the numbers will go up some. And this does not include one registration that came in just before the meeting started, and I suspect we may have a few more before the registration closes.
okay. Good. Moving along, because we're gonna have some topics that are gonna take some discussion in a moment, but Mike, anything on health that we need to review or talk about?
I think we're in good shape. No changes with the city of Worcester requirements. So.
Question, are there, looking at John's numbers, are there a number of people who have not sent in their vaccination cards? Is there going to be a problem at the door with people who have not submitted their vaccination cards and be standing there for an hour?
There could be. There were 75 people who, when they registered, said they would provide it at the door. So there will be a line, but they were warned
Yep.
that it would take a long time and it would be needed. Secondly, Mike and I are working through and reconciling those who said they were going to use Google and those we actually have. We've discovered a few glitches in the process, but we're working through them. So there could be some delays at the door. And if there are, it's because people didn't pay attention to the instructions.
Okay. But they have to provide the proof then when they show up.
Anybody who has not provided it prior to the event needs to show it at the door. Yes.
Okay.
When they register, they will not be given a registration until they provided it.
Okay. Hopefully there aren't any forgeries.
I have somebody extra to work at the front of the house to see if there's a backup down there. So I brought in an extra person to work in the front of the house. So it'll help John with the registration and to check these as they come through. Kind of anticipating what the problems you're talking about, David.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just describe a little bit. We're going to have 3 registration desks, basically. 1, 2, maybe 4. When I get done counting, tell me how many fingers I've used. We're going to have one for those who have pre-registered and previously provided vaccination information. We're going to have those who are pre-registered who need to provide vaccination information. We have those who have not pre-registered at all that will need to do both. And then there may be a few who said they were going to provide it, that we didn't have it, that we may have in a separate area. But that we will be set up to handle all those categories such that those who did what we asked and provided it all up front should be able to move through quickly.
Thank you. Mike, anything else? You're good?
I'm good.
Okay. Diane?
Just a quick question for John. The boards or the events team, are those registrations going to be handed out separately or still all stay in line?
I'm not sure I caught all of that, Diane.
I'm just wondering for the board or events team, sometimes the registrations are taken out of the loop of the group, and sometimes they're not.
Well, that's only by oversight. The intention is the events team, so long as they're identified as such, will be separate.
Okay.
The judges will be separate, and I will be providing that to Alan. And so, yes, it's only the other registrations that should have to stand in line.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Alan, I'll let you take the subjects that you have in whatever order you want. One of them is
Okay.
going to call for some considerable discussion.
Okay.
But let me just say before Alan starts that Alan and I have spent some time talking through this. As you can imagine, he has done a tremendous amount of work in getting all of this organized. And to Mark's point earlier about the mixed quartets and so forth, this will probably be, in my opinion, the last convention that we hold that is like the old days. Things will change. Things will change in international in the coming year. There's gonna be a lot of changes made. The only NEDAC, to answer Mark's question specifically, has nothing to do with mixed quartets or senior quartets or college champions or youth, whatever we want to, whatever the name of the time is for the youth quartets. That was decision. NEDAC is an independent affiliate organization, and their decision was they were only dealing with the regular, quote unquote, at the time, quartet champions. Now that will probably change, but it has not changed for this year. The NEDAC show this year is going to consist of just 3 quartets, and Gary Glidden will MC it. It'll be over probably closer to 50 minutes than 60. And it will have the 3 past district champion quartets in it. The newly crowned mixed quartet, and female if we had one, and male, would not normally appear the year they're crowned. They would appear the following year. So that's kind of a little summary of the way the awards will work this year. There'll be just 3 quartets on the NEDAC show. The 2 chorus champions that we plan to crown will appear later in the evening and not having anything to do with NEDAC. So I hope that answers Mark's question. And Alan, there's 450 things left for you to explain.
Well, I'm only going to do 3 of them.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So we're all set. We believe we have everybody housed in the holiday, in the Hilton Garden Inn. Bob, I'm going to ask you if you would please contact them tomorrow. One of the judges who's coming in a day early that we knew about called the hotel and was told they didn't even have his name and they had no reservations for Thursday night.
All right. I don't believe we have the names of the judges yet.
I sent them to you. I gave you their room numbers.
Then could you do that
Do it
I'll
again?
take care of it tomorrow, because I don't remember seeing that.
Okay, I can do it again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The second thing is,
And I'll take care of the Thursday one. Who would that be?
it'll be on the list. There's more than
Oh,
one.
okay.
There's
All
more
right,
than
okay.
one. I
All
only
right,
know
I'll
about
take care of
one.
that. All right,
Yep.
I'll do that tomorrow morning.
Okay, so the next issue that we have to give some thought to, and I have some strong recommendations about it, is transportation. Without a host chapter, it's very difficult to do the transportation we need for the judges. Holding it in Worcester, an hour from any airport, is another issue. So compounded by the fact that we have a judging panel of 17 judges. I promised Mike we'd keep it small. This is small because we ran out of positions for guest judges. There are a bunch of them. The good news is we don't pay for the guest judges, so it's okay. But we do have 17 judges, and to put it in perspective, the entire judging panel for an international convention is 18. So that's where we are. Okay. I mean, one more we could build this is the Eastern International Competition.
If we could get the Canadians in.
If we could get the Canadians. So, so we do
If the
have,
Canadians came, we need 18 judges, right?
yeah,
So-
right. So we do have 7 guest judges. Some from right here in the area and some driving in from Seneca Lands, some driving up from Mid-Atlantic District. And the reason is that these guys and gals have been in the program for 2 years and have yet to be able to attend a convention to practice. And this year we are one of only 4. So I talked to some of my compatriots in Land O'Lakes. They were inundated. Carolinas district is getting a whole bunch because these people that are candidates just need some place to go to get started. So anyway, so on the good side, we do have 23 quartets for Friday night. 2 of them are not competing. One is the Mike Testers, who are our current 2-year district champions. And the Mike Coolers are a former district champion who just want the opportunity, asked me to be Mike Coolers while the judges are doing the scores and get a chance to score and be evaluated. So we do have 21 quartets in the mix. It includes men's quartets, it includes mixed quartets, and it includes a youth quartet. So pretty good array. Came close, I think, to getting 2 or 3 women's quartets, but not at the last minute. So, and then we have 11 choruses, which includes 2 mixed choruses. So I think, you know, considering where we are with COVID and all the things, I think it'll be a good contest. I mean, it'll be plenty for people to devour. And other than that, I think, and the transportation I wanted to mention is one, even if we only had the regular size panel, we'd be looking at something more than a couple of cars to move them around. But because we're so far from the airports, getting them from the airports to Worcester and back is becoming extremely problematic. And we have a couple of judges who decided not to heed my advice when I asked them to please schedule themselves so they were in Worcester by 3. And considering that they're an hour from an airport, do not take a 6 o'clock flight out on Sunday. So we have one judge getting in at 3 in Boston on a Friday afternoon.
Oh.
And we have 2 judges, one going to Boston, one going to Providence at 6 a.m. on Sunday. So try to find a volunteer who wants to crawl out of bed to pick up a judge at 4 to drive him to Boston, and I'll pay him double. Okay. But right now.
Or not go to bed maybe and just take them.
No, I think, yeah, right. Or don't go to bed. Well, no, because Sebi will be too drunk by then to drive. But we solved one. We just got to get somebody who's willing to drive the one person to Framingham. We're going to, which is only 30 minutes away. We're going to stick that judge on a Logan Express bus and have him take the bus into Logan. And the other one is we have hired an Uber to take him from Worcester to Providence.
Hmm.
So that's all we
And
got.
what is the number of courses, Alan? Right.
What?
How many
I'm sorry?
courses were there? How many courses? are
11.
11. Okay.
11. Yep.
Alan, I'm still picking up on Friday afternoon, right? Like I
Yes.
told you. Okay.
Yep, I got you down for that. I'm, as soon as I fill in how we pick them up, I'll send notices out to the people doing the transportation plus the judge and tell them what the arrangements are. I've already notified Linda and the two people, Linda Muse and the two people she's taking care of, and I've already notified Steve Cerula and the person that is taking care of him. So, yeah, so it's 11 choruses. I think the number I came pretty close. I think from the numbers reported to me when they registered, I thought there'd be 270 competitors. And I think, John, you said we're around 260 something. So
Yep.
63 at the moment.
Yeah. And the last thing is, unfortunately, it doesn't appear that September Sound is going to make it down from Halifax. They did register for the contest. They decided about a week ago, because we all got excited when the United States announced that they were going to open the border up, and then found out they're going to open it on November 7th. Okay, and these guys need to get in on the 29th or 28th. So I even went the extra mile for them. I reached out to my congressman's office here. I talked to his immigration specialist. We had a long conversation. She made several calls. She called me back on Friday, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get an exception to allow them to come in. So they'll have to bail. And it's too bad, because they've been getting coaching and everything like once every 2 weeks for 6 months to prepare for this. But leave it to Uncle Sam.
Alan,
Yeah,
what about Bill Hawken from Ontario?
he's fine. The stupidity of the whole thing is that restriction applies if you drive in. He and his wife are flying from Toronto to Newark and then renting a car and driving up. And that's perfectly okay.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. But the 4 guys that want to drive over the border from New Brunswick,
No,
not a
can't do it.
chance.
Gee
Nope.
whiz.
No, nobody said it made sense, David.
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay.
so when we get to it later, we at some point, and Bob and I have talked, we do have to have a conversation. We really do need to make sure we have a host chapter for all of these conventions. And one of the things we might think about is whether or not the amount that's in our operating code, or I guess it's actually set by the board, if the amount we offer is enough for all the things we ask these guys to and gals to do, because we give them the fee and we don't compensate them extra for transportation and mileage and tolls and all of that. So I think that's a discussion we need, not tonight, but put it on the agenda for sometime in the future.
Absolutely. Alan, any other questions for what Alan's covered so far? He might think he's done, but he's not.
No. Oh, and I'll tell you, we need a truck to move the awards.
Yeah.
I'm bringing down 132 plaques.
And
that
all of them.
doesn't
all of
count the
them that
trophies.
won.
Hmm?
Yep, and all of them that won trophies in 2019 have agreed to bring theirs to Worcester. So we're gonna have a big table full of them.
Good news is, Alan, you don't have to carry the Almano trophy.
Yeah, right.
The question I did get for trophies was from Mark, Vocal Revolution. If they should win, they do not want to keep their trophy. They do not want to take it with them. And it's my understanding, if you win, you take your trophy.
Well, Diane, I'm confused.
Yeah, well, Vocal
Say that again?
Vocal Revolution is if they win, they have decided they do not want to take their trophy.
Oh, but Mark, I guess.
Yeah, from Mark.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
yep, and my answer, I think it happened, oh gosh, it must have been back in 2019 now,
Yep.
where they
Okay.
didn't want to
All
take
right.
it.
Well, thank
And,
you for letting me know. Just appreciate it.
The answer was, if you
Okay.
win, you take the trophy.
Yep,
If you're-
see you later, bye.
So I don't think that has changed.
Mark, you have something to add to that?
The reason for that was basically a bunch of years ago, everybody left and nobody was responsible for ER had picked up the trophy and they were like, oh, Mark, you're still here, you take it. And I was like, okay. And I've since become the trophy donkey. And the trophy donkey takes it home, puts it in his garage, tries to remember to update the plaque in time, and brings it back. And then takes it home, repeat. We don't have a place to display it. We have no use for it. Every year people go, who the hell has it? Is it still Mark? Does Mark have all of them? Are they updated? It's the show. So for our side of the fence, it makes no sense.
This has
so I
got to
was
be
sort of
one of the
asking,
most ridiculous discussions I've ever heard at a district board meeting.
can I shortcut it?
Someone is competing to win a trophy that most people would give their right arm to even come close to, and they're concerned about, oh, I got to carry it around for me. Is that what I'm
Voices
hearing?
United would love the trophy. Just saying.
And, you know, if you guys want to store it in your garage, Amanda, I'm cool with that. Look, to shortcut the conversation, if it's been a small burden on me. If it would be a large burden for the district, then the answer to my request would have been no, take it, which I think is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's what happens. We have no place to put it, so and we've run it 8, 9 years in a row now. So it's not like we bring it to rehearsal. Everybody goes, "Ooh, we finally got a trophy." They're like, "Oh, look, yeah, Mark still has a trophy." So I asked. I think I feel answered, but it was worth a shot.
Well, at least it's not the trophy that before. It's only a cup now. It's easier.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah, there was that.
Every
trophy.
time I took that monstrosity home, I had to tear it down, rebuild it, tighten everything, and then put it in the garage.
David,
Alan, along that same path, who will receive the district chorus championship trophy?
The one we've got will go to whichever men's chorus wins.
Men's chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any point is there some possibility at some point that we could all discuss that? And
That's a different discussion, David.
I understand. I
believe Mike's bringing it up later.
it's on the
Okay.
agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Let's finish off with Vocal Revolution and see if we can embarrass them as much as possible.
Well, the solution is, Mike, they could just stop coming one year and then they wouldn't get it.
That's right. No one's telling you have to compete. You can stop. And I see,
or we could suck. I mean, that's always an option.
I mean, I see 3 of you on the line that are members, very active members of the chorus, and I really find this hard to believe as a discussion. Some of us are laughing it off, but I'm not laughing. That you could be so. I guess I should stop.
Right.
There are
No,
some
we-
individuals that feel that way, Mike. Not everyone in Vocal Revolution feels that way.
This was a private conversation between me and the upcoming president, where I said, if you don't even know where it is, though the same guy's been doing it every year, why are we doing this? So I am the cause. It was not discussed within the chorus. I don't think it was discussed at the chorus board meetings, although I don't go to them. So it was a private discussion. I appreciate your point of view very much, Mike. I think winning is the greatest honor possible. I think the hardware is nice, but we're not using it effectively. Other choruses might. That's the answer. And if they win, they can do it.
Okay. Let's move along. Alan, the biggest subject I think that we have that might be new that I'd like to get you to explain between, I guess it's pretty much you and Bob about the possibilities of having something new happen in Worcester that everyone can watch?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's been between Steve and Mike and I. Couple of us were chatting a couple of weeks ago and said, with everything else going on, why aren't we looking into live streaming this convention, at least the 3 contests, and maybe the NEDAC show? So we've had, some of you know, we've had the same person doing the sound for us now for probably a good decade, Glenn Alisi at Advanced Lighting and Sound Systems. And I called up Glenn and I asked him if he had the capability of doing that on site and being able to hitch up to something to live stream it. And he said, well, as it turns out, I have just ordered all the equipment that I need because I want to be doing that. So I talked to him a little bit about it. Steve and I had talked about it. And then Mike and I had a conversation, I think maybe with Mike. Mike has looked into how we get it live streamed, and I believe he has a source for that. And so we have the opportunity to not only have it done and live stream it to our membership, but we also have the opportunity, therefore, because I talked to Glenn about it, to have him record it so that we have a hard copy of it when we're done. My hope was that we could do it and not for at least for this year, not have a subscription cost to it. And I don't know if that works out with the service that Mike Savard had looked into, but I just think if we don't charge or we keep the charge really, really low, it would be a great service to all of those choruses that made the decision not to come, and to all of our brothers in Canada who couldn't come, who I know would, the quartet up there, I know that South Shore really wanted to come, and obviously just couldn't guarantee they'd get over the border. So maybe Mike Savard can talk a little bit about the streaming portion of it.
Sure. And the real issue with live streaming comes down to licensing, right? So in going into this, I was pretty concerned about whether we could even pull it off. Typically you would have to figure out what all the songs are going to be sung, figure out who owns the rights, get performance licenses, and you're talking about lots and lots of time and lots of money. Through the course of talking to some people down in Nashville, I ended up talking to Janice Bain, and she connected me with a company called the Spin Network. And Janice is now actually using them to do music licensing, because they they started as a company that they put together a huge database of songs and copyright information. And now, since they had that database, they've now created this live streaming private label networks. And as a result of that, we could sign up with them, have a broadcasting.nedistrict.org website, and sell subscriptions to that. We could do a 2-day subscription for people that just want to live stream the contest on Friday and Saturday. We can also do a monthly subscription and an annual subscription. And this is now a revenue sharing model where whatever people buy a subscription and then watch certain videos, the Spin Network automatically identifies who the copyright holders are and pays them directly, and then we get the remainder of the money. There's really no way to do this without charging somebody, right? You've got to do it legally, we've got to pay the licensing. This appears to me to be by far the best way to do it. If we tried to do this ourselves on Facebook or YouTube, we would be obligated to track down all of the copyright holders and contact them about getting licenses. And quite frankly, we would probably find those to be way too expensive for us to want to do. But through this Spin Network, it looks very achievable and very easy to do. So, and amazingly, I mean, there's zero cost to the district. So it's going to be a revenue generator for the district. There's zero cost to sign up. There's zero upfront cost. in terms of the live streaming. I'm not sure about with how much extra Glenn would charge us, but I personally think it's a lot of upside, both for people within the district that can't make it, but I think there's probably a lot of interest worldwide among barbershoppers in watching a contest right now. So we may end up with quite a few people that want to stream. We can also take the recording and have it available through their site for delayed viewing later on.
Right, and we know we have the ability to connect directly to the internet from the auditorium at Worcester State, which is one of the requirements that we needed to do. And I can tell you that Glenn, talking to Glenn, his business model is that he would be charging $1,500 a day to do it. He would charge us $1,500 for the weekend.
Instead of per day.
Instead of per day. He'll do all 4 events for $1,500.
And then what are we looking at for the subscription, Mike? Like what were they? What's the?
It's totally up to us. The only rule they have is that an annual subscription cannot be less than $40. So we can make it whatever we want for the 2-day or monthly. This is actually a company that the Danbury chapter is using. So they've actually set up their own live ability. I don't know if they're actually doing live streams or they're just putting up shows that they've pre-recorded.
It's
But they're already,
live streaming, Mike.
Yep.
It's
There we
live
go.
streaming. And I believe we're charging $15 for a subscription to an individual.
I had it up here. Let's see. They're doing $15 for a 2-day pass, $30 for a month, and $50 annually is the
Right.
Manhattan
Right.
cost model. But we can do, like I said, the only restriction that Spin Network puts on it is got to be at least $40 for the annual.
So can we come up with a specific proposal of what, and make this in the form of a motion?
I think the only thing that we have to move is that we move that we would spend the $1,500 to provide the live stream service, and then I will take care of the logistics of getting the live stream network set up.
But I'm saying, is the motion going to include, the motion you're going to make, going to include what the cost would be for people to watch?
We could, yeah. Al and I had talked about that, maybe $10 for the 2 days.
I just
Question.
wanted to get a motion on the table and then we can discuss it. David, question before the motion?
Yeah, when you talk about a subscription for individuals, are you trying to cover the $1,500 or are you just, is it just a swag as far as covering the cost of the live streaming as far as the licensing issue?
Yeah, the money that goes to the people that are going to subscribe are covering the licensing. And then we get 65% of the live stream revenue and we get about 30% of the delayed viewing revenue. I have no idea what to expect for how to model what we would get.
Well, or to
just
figure
plan
out how many people would take advantage of this. I mean, for the 4 events, Friday night, Saturday after course contest, DDAC, and finals, how many people are going to sign up?
Yeah, the $1,500 is going to be a sunk cost. I don't think there's any way we're going to cover
Yeah,
that with the
understood.
revenue that we're going to get from this. I think
Now,
we're
just
look
Just
at
to
it.
be clear, the 1,500 is the fee from Glenn? Is that what we're referring to?
That's right, John.
Steve,
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Steve, you've been the silent one in this, and I know you're involved. Anything to add?
Nope, nothing to add. I think the only issue that I'm having in terms of the cost is what is the company expecting out of this in terms of revenue to themselves? I mean, that would help determine what our cost to our subscribers should be. Don't you think? So, I mean, if we just said $5, in the end, there may not be enough subscribers to cover their licensing fee for the whole thing. So I'm just,
The way their model works is it's by viewer minutes, and the software calculates all this stuff.
oh, okay.
And so there's, if we had one person sign up, they're okay with that.
Okay, good.
Ed?
I just want to be clear about the $1,500 charge of Glenn Elisi. Is that in addition to what we normally pay him to handle the sound and lighting and everything else?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is a new $1,500 on top of what we normally pay him. Okay.
Correct.
Mike, why don't you make a motion, or Alan or Steve or one of you?
So I move that we allocate $1,500 to Glenn Elisi for the service to provide live streaming, and that we offer a 2-day live stream subscription to anybody that wants to sign up for $10.
Do you want to
second
make it one thing, like Mike, do you want to make it like a month so they could view it later? I mean, it sounds like.
I think we can decide to do to watch it later. We'd have to have a monthly charge. Maybe we do $20 for that one.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so yeah, okay, but fine. So I'll write down what you wrote then.
So the event you're saying would be $10.
Correct.
Want to just live stream the event, it'd be $10. And then we need we'd have a monthly, if you want to, a week from the event after we've had time to separate all the videos and put them up, then people could pay the monthly fee for being able to watch them.
So that's the motion. I know we're gonna have more discussion, but is there a second on the motion?
I did.
Alan?
I did, Mike.
Yeah, got it.
Now, during the discussion, I have a question for you. Is this going to run through our district website, Steve? Will people go there to find it?
No.
We can make it a subdomain of our website, or they will just obtain, like broadcasting.district.com or something.
Yeah, I think they set up a subdomain on their site, so it'll be any district.org.spin network or whatever it is.
So how will our people find out about it?
We have to market this in this coming week.
Okay.
Big time.
But that, if you don't see that as a problem?
I
mean,
no, I don't
it's
see it
only
as a
4
problem. Not at
It's
all.
only 5
No,
days.
it's about impressions and making the impression. So I need to load with like, all the exact information, and be, we don't want a zillion people responding with questions. We just want them to sign up. So
Right.
Mike and I will work very closely in the next couple days to get the information. It is going to be last minute released in terms of public information, but we'll get it out to them, and they'll be very
Okay.
happy. Once the word
They will.
starts to spread, I think it'll be fine.
Oh, I agree. I just didn't know if I could like tell the chapter, go to the district website, you'll find the information there, or.
Yes, well, yes, we will definitely have the information
Okay.
available on our website. It'll be another click through though to someplace
Right,
else.
I understand.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Other
if you,
questions?
if when you do this, Mike and Steve, send me the information too, and we'll broadcast it to all of our competitors separately.
Okay.
So
Other questions? Sounds great. I'm very excited about this.
I have a question for Steve, I guess. A meeting or two ago, we basically determined that we weren't gonna have Mike come up to do the video. And we had saved some money of that might go to helping to cover this. Have we made other arrangements for video of the convention? And if so, will there be any cost associated with that?
No, there's been nothing proposed or offered to competitors for video recordings at this time.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can monetize that because we're going to have a recording and they're going to want a recording, and I feel that they are entitled to a recording, and we will probably have to charge for that. We may very well do it through this service.
That would make sense.
Is that a possibility?
That detail, Mike and I will need to work out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people can download from this. I don't think they would be able to. So if we want to,
But I'll say,
obviously,
yeah.
then
But
we-
if Glenn's going to record it,
Yeah.
then we have that data ourselves.
Yep.
Is,
Except somebody has to go through it and splice it all up, cut it all up, which is going to be a chore.
So this is video and audio?
Yeah, he's gonna run the audio right through his system.
Was that your question, Dan?
A video. He's bringing a camera and such.
Yes.
He's bringing two cameras.
Two cameras, two locations.
Okay, anything else? It sounds good. Let's take no further discussion. We have a motion on the floor. Everyone clear? All those in favor? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, passed. Thank you, all of you that worked on that. That's very exciting. That's great news. I think it's going to go over even better than we anticipate. I think there'll be a lot of people that be very excited about it, particularly since they don't feel comfortable going on their own, perhaps. Okay. Let's move to Mr. Ed. Anything new to tell us, or I'm just going to leave it on the agenda unless there's something that you need to talk about.
Just leave it on the agenda. I haven't organized anything yet because everyone's so busy with this contest.
Yeah.
We'll start
Okay.
next month.
All right. And the same with Bob for the spring contest. As far as I know, we're all set. We're going to be in Pleasantville. No.
We're we're going to be in the
Sleepy
Cape
Hollow.
City-
Yeah,
Sleepy
right.
Hollow, yes, yeah. Unfortunately, I was born in Sleepy Hollow. I don't know if it stuck with me. The spring contest for the Eastern Division will be in Cape Cod, and I believe Providence is hosting that. And thank you to Providence. I know there was some discussion on why, but it would be the Providence chapter who would be hosting that. We're
Did
all
we-
set. I have the link.
Before you move on, Rob,
Yeah.
did we resolve that, or is that still lingering? Did they get their answers?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to say anything publicly about the last time the Cape Cod chapter hosted anything. But there's a reason why I spoke with you about hosting it in Cape Cod and not them.
Mhm.
And when I see you, I'll talk to you about it, but it's not anything kind of for public consumption, I don't think.
No, but there was a question from them. I'm just wondering if they got an
I
answer.
took care of that.
Okay. that's-
Yeah, I took care of that with them, yeah. The spring contest, that's all set. I do have a link for that and numbers to call for reservations. I was going to give that to Steve after the fall contest, when we can start advertising against the spring contests. I figured it'd be a little bit confusing at this time to, offer another link to hotels. The contest in the Lake George area will be in the 29th and 30th of April. It'll be at the Queensbury High School, which is a absolutely brand new auditorium. It's absolutely an incredible venue. And the hotels for that, there's a Hilton Hotel diagonally across the street, of which you could, basically it's a nice walk from the hotel. And down the street is a Wyndham. The rates at the Wyndham will be $74 and some cents a night. The rates at the Hilton will be $98, and it's a Hilton Suites. So all the rooms are large. They're all suites. We have a singing room at the Wyndham Hotel, which we have that for 24 hours a day, and we have the same thing at the Hilton Hotel. The one problem with the Hilton Hotel is that we have to surround the singing room with barbershoppers in order for this to be pulled off. So there's, I think, 10 rooms or 11 rooms or whatever, which we will take first. And that way we can use the singing room and not bother anyone else. It's on the main floor. I think there'll be two absolutely great contests, and we're all set to go. And I will give all the links and everything to Steve when we get back from the district contest. I believe that would be the right time, right, Steve?
Next
Oh, yeah.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it would be a little confusing at this point. And we've also with Diane Brooks, we've applied for the usual grants we get from the town of Queensbury this time, not Lake George, which is one town down from Lake George. It takes about 10 minutes to get to Lake George. And we've also applied to Warren County for like, you know, it's the same thing we do every year for the grants up there. It's just, it's been a long time since we've been there.
Good job, Bob. Thank you. Thank you, Diane, working on that. David, anything new? Again, I'm just going to leave this on the agenda for Leadership Academy.
Other than to say that we are very close to having everything nailed down for sessions, Friday evening, Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, Sunday afternoon, and Sunday evening. It's going to be a full slate. I have a couple classes that I still need to nail down, but I should have a schedule that I'll be getting out within a week. And we'll have all the instructors with their times, and we can start promoting that right after the district contest. And I would like to get Eventbrite set up and open registrations December 1st.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, moving along to some new business. Many years ago, when we were going to take a look at the Almano Fund when Mike Klein was president, and it didn't get very far, as I recall. There were some proposals made, and it kind of died at that point. So there haven't been any changes in the way that fund is structured for quite a while. And there may need to be some changes. We've been talking a little bit tonight about mixed quartet champions, female quartet champions, mixed chorus, female chorus. The Almano Fund is specifically set up for international competitors. And at this time, the way the code of regulations reads, it's just been a male chorus, obviously, up until now, and a senior quartet and a regular quartet going to international. So I've put a committee together. I've asked Mike Savard to chair the committee. I got a couple people to work with him. And I know that we have some people that are interested in contributing to a new fund, a newly structured fund. So that's part of what they're going to work for. And I've put on Mike's committee Dan Costello, who has agreed to do that, and Jamie Jones, who is the current president of Voices United, our newest chapter. And they would, of course, stay in touch with John Englander, but John's got enough to do without trying to reword the code of regulations. So Mike, you want to say anything at this point, or?
No, I think we're going to start those conversations up probably after convention. Dan and Jamie are ready to go. So we got a really good opportunity with, as Mike mentioned, a potential donor that can really help with this fund. So it's going to make it align a little better with our new reality.
Good. So if you have any suggestions or questions, they can be directed at Mike. I put Alan's name on here without really talking to him about it. But we did talk about it on the phone a little bit. And the fact that I alluded to it earlier in tonight's meeting that things are going to have to change as far as how we handle everyone in Harmony championships. And so what plaques are given, what trophies are given. We've already discovered tonight that we can give a nice trophy to the chorus champion because we just won't give it out to the male champion anymore. No, maybe not. Maybe not. But
hey now, Mike. Now they'll probably beat us, so maybe.
There you go. I don't think there's any probable about it. I've heard them. Alan, you want to say a little bit here without going too much into it?
Oh yeah. So it's clear that We modified the operating code to reflect what we were told 2 years ago. I think once we get through this convention, we'll have a whole better understanding of how we would want to structure the awards for the Northeastern District. And I'll just leave it at that because I will tell you 132 plaques is even from the guy that likes to reward people for good work. It's just way too many options. So I think we need to look at it. Plus, the reality of the situation is the software that is currently in use and the software that is in redevelopment for managing the contests will not be able to handle the number of sessions awards that we could have under the current structure. And we will force ourselves to be in a position where we're doing 4 CAs at contests, which is just not where I want to be. So I just think we need to look at the whole structure. I think, Mike, for timing, we should start looking at it right after next week's convention, because whatever changes we make will need to be approved by the House of Delegates. And I know the meeting isn't scheduled until the end of March, which may be too late for the spring contest. So we might have to have a special meeting earlier in the year for the sole purpose of this topic.
Alan, do you feel that this is something you want to tackle next week and make recommendations on your own, or do you want to have a committee working with you?
No. I'll talk to you, Mike. I think we should have a committee.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And this ties into the next subject. I just put it on here so we could understand what we're talking about. Future convention format is perhaps going to change. What we used to have as a NEDAC show, those days maybe have gone. Maybe NEDAC has to have a separate meeting. As the founder of NEDAC, myself, I never envisioned this 30 years later that we would be in this position. So, and there hasn't been a lot changed with what happened when NEDAC started 30 years ago. So convention formats is going to be something I think we're going to also have to take a look at, along with what Alan is talking about as far as the trophies or championships. But how do we manage to get all of these things into a convention? Some of these things may be answered by international. International may be telling us that there's going to be, and I'm not saying this is happening, I'm giving you an example, that there'll be an overall champion. There'll only be one contest and there'll be an overall champion for a chorus and for a quartet. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll say there's going to be a men's, there's going to be maybe there'll be a festival. There's lots of subjects in the air right now at international, and none of that has been decided, but a lot of it may be decided by the end of this year. And it has been promised to Mike Savard and myself on the District President's Council that it will be decided by the end of the year. So we'll have a lot more information. Mike?
I actually have the options they're considering if you want me to put it up on screen, Mike. Or I can email it to everybody later.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to get into it now versus the fact that we're going to have to get into it. And maybe the next board meeting after this convention is over, we'll have a better idea and we can start to formulate those plans.
Okay.
Any questions about anything that I said, perhaps not very clearly? Okay. All right, then. Let's move on to the individuals. Mike Savard, do you have anything else you want to cover?
No, I'm good.
Ed?
Nope, I'm fine.
David?
Nothing new except we're having our chapter presidents forum. Next meeting is December 4th, I think. And our guest speaker will be Joe Cerruti. And that's all going out to chapter presidents.
What time of day is that going to be?
7 p.m. Eastern.
On a Saturday night?
Sunday night. What did I'm not looking at my calendar. What did I say?
You said December 4th?
Yeah.
That might not be right. Hold on a minute. Jeez. I can't get there fast enough. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I can't seem to find it right now. Okay,
Oh, it's,
never mind.
it's on the calendar.
Oh, December 12th, excuse me. Sunday, December 12th,
Okay, thank you.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. You're all obviously invited to that meeting. You don't have
Yeah,
to
I
say
always-
anything, but
Yeah, I always invite the board
yep.
and the leadership team, excuse me.
Okay, Alan, anything else from you?
No, sir.
Bob?
I'm okay.
Oh, David's backing up the gentleman from Massachusetts.
One more thing, we're going to be putting out with the cooperation of Seth Maislin, the secretary, current secretary and president-elect of the Greater Boston chapter. He put together, and he and I worked together, he put together a 16-minute video tutorial for updating and adding chapter officers on Member Center. And that will be going out next week to all chapter officials, officers. Because I think we're going to run into a lot of that problem at the end of this year when everything has to be updated with current dates.
They can do it now, right? I mean,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
they all know who the new boards are,
Well,
hopefully.
well, that's a whole nother discussion, but yeah, and actually, and Seth used our own chapter for updating and for adding our new chapter officers. So it's very good. It will help a lot, I think, with some of the chapters that are technology averse.
Thank you. Bob, you said you were okay. Dan?
If any board members have ideas about what directors might be looking for at this time, I'm still a little bit nervous about bringing choruses together to do a DWI or something like that. But I'm interested in what your choruses, if you can ask your director, what are they interested in? Because I'm looking for ideas.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. Amanda, any questions or comments or ideas?
No, it's been great listening in. Excited to get started with Carolee. We're trying to work out a meeting with Brandon just to have like a little handover. And then we'll get started.
Excellent. Thank you, Amanda. Carolee is not here. Diane.
Just an update. I'm currently searching for VP of membership in other districts to meet with them and get some ideas on what has worked in other districts and what we might be able to do to help ours. So.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Steve.
I have nothing, but I would be remiss if I didn't warn you all that there's a number of things that are conspiring to keep me not in Worcester this coming weekend. So I will discuss with Alan and Mike, and I mean, I'll take care of things from home as much as I can, but right at the moment, it doesn't look good. It's a number of personal things going on, and a hospice care and stuff like that. So I probably will know better by Wednesday. So that's going to throw a monkey wrench into a few things, but it gives me the opportunity to possibly market the streaming thing much more effectively. So we'll talk about that, Mike.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Good luck, Steve.
Hope for the best.
Thanks.
Scott, anything for you on the phone there?
Yeah, the only thing is I spoke with Andrea, and the question came up as to when exactly we make a decision that yes, we're definitely in quotes having the in-person HX camp. I mean, do we just assume, yep, it's going on, move ahead, or do we have a certain waiting point until a certain time and then we decide? Or basically, she just wants to know how, how to proceed. And there was a question, and I said, interesting question. I don't know.
Well, I would think, since we're proceeding as quote unquote, getting back to normal for the spring division contests, at the Cape and in New York, that certainly we should proceed, presuming we'll be back to the normal for this summer for Harmony College Northeast and for HX camp.
I have one comment on that. Just one thing, Mike. I've been putting off Worcester State about a date in either July or August or whenever we're going to do this, and I've been stalling to give them a date, but they really want to get a tentative date of when we're going to do this so they can hold it for us, because they're starting to book up. So and I get emails from them weekly. So if we can just come up with a date, that would be great, and I will have those dates held. And then if we don't do it, we can just cancel it. But I would like to get an idea of just what dates I should hold for the HX and the HCNE.
Mike?
I had an action item from a prior meeting to find out when Harmony U was going to be held. And I did get that from Dusty Schleier. It's July 24 to 31, 2022. So I know we wanted that as to factor into our planning of the dates for HXNE and for Harmony College.
So that first week in August, which was traditional, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Steve probably knows better than anybody, the dates that they have been in the past. But that like first full weekend in August, is that?
Yeah, that's usually when it is.
Right. Would be 5, 6, and 7.
If that's all right, I'll hold those dates with the school, and I'll let everyone know if that's, I will hold those dates with Worcester.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, again, what is the, Mike Savard, what is the dates for July 24th to what?
31st.
31st, thank you.
Sunday to Sunday.
Well, so we're good to go with that. Is that a consensus at this point? Those will be the dates for HCNE and HX camp? Yes. Yes, I saw a thumbs up from Dan. Anybody disagree? I don't think it needs a motion as such, but all right, let's get that. Bob will direct you as an action item to confirm that with Worcester State and Scott. Scott, do you see any advantage? I know that, I don't know if you heard me earlier in the meeting, Amanda, as the new music and performance vice president, is working closely with Carol Lee. And we've invited Carol Lee to be in on the board meetings in the future. Do you see any reason to do that with HX camp? Or are you happy the way it is?
I could go either way. I could speak with Andrea and see what she thinks. Is interested and able.
Yeah, certainly as we get closer down the line, it may be maybe good. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. We ran down the list. Anyone have anything else? I wanted to be done by 8:30. Looks like we're going to make it again. We're good.
Oh, Glenn, could you stay on for a couple minutes? I have a couple Zoom technical questions to ask you.
Can do.
Okay, and John England, I'm going to call you as soon as we're done.
Okay.
I feel left out. Who can I call? Ed, I'll call.
Ghostbusters.
You can call me, Mike. We can make fun of each other for a while. It'll be great.
There we go. All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Look forward. Let's see. Other than possibility of Steve, is there anyone else that's not going to be there next weekend? We're all going to be there.
I won't. I won't be there.
Alan's not showing up.
He's
Um,
returning to his home planet.
We're gonna see each other in the flesh. Very exciting. I appreciate all your help and all your work, and look forward to seeing you all next weekend. And come and visit me in my presidential suite.
Palatial.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Night.
night.
So Glenn,